Imagine this. A man alone in the dark by the banks of a rushing river. The air is thick with tension, the kind that makes your skin prickle. He's spent his entire life running from his mistakes, his past, his brother's wrath. But tonight, he can't run anymore. Tonight, he's about to face something or someone that will change his life forever. This is the story of Jacob, a man who wrestled with an angel and emerged with a new name, a new identity, and a new destiny. This is Genesis chapter 32 verses 22 to 32, a story that's as mysterious as it is transformative. Let's set the stage. Jacob is on his way back home after 20 years in exile. He's been living with his uncle Laban, where he's acquired wealth, wives, and children. But now, he's returning to the land of his birth. And there's one problem. His brother Esau is waiting for him. The same Esau he tricked out of his birthright and his father's blessing. The same Esau who vowed to kill him. Jacob is terrified. He sends his family and possessions ahead, across the Jabbok River, but he stays behind, alone, in the dark. This is where the story takes a dramatic turn. As Jacob stands there, a figure emerges from the shadows. The text calls him a man, but as the story unfolds, it becomes clear this is no ordinary man. This is a divine being, an angel, or perhaps even God himself in human form. Without warning, the two begin to wrestle. Not a friendly sparring match, but a full-on, all-night struggle. Picture it, Jacob, the schemer, the deceiver, grappling with a heavenly being under the stars. It's surreal, it's intense, and it's deeply symbolic. Why would an angel wrestle Jacob? And why would God allow it? Here's where it gets fascinating. This wrestling match isn't just physical, it's spiritual. Jacob has spent his life relying on his own cunning, his own strength, his own plans. But now, he's come to the end of himself. He's desperate, he's vulnerable, and in this moment, God meets him in the struggle. The angel doesn't overpower Jacob immediately. He lets the fight go on, as if testing Jacob's resolve. And Jacob, for all his flaws, refuses to let go. He clings to the angel, demanding a blessing. "I will not let you go unless you bless me," he says in Genesis chapter 32, verse 26. It's a moment of raw, unfiltered faith. Jacob is saying, I've tried everything else, now I'm holding on to you. The angel responds by giving Jacob a new name, Israel, which means he struggles with God, or a prince of God. It's a name that carries a profound truth. Jacob's life has been defined by struggle, with his brother, his uncle, his circumstances, and now with God. But this struggle isn't a curse, it's a blessing. It's through the struggle that Jacob encounters God in a deeply personal way. It's through the struggle that he's transformed. But there's a twist. As the angel prepares to leave, he touches Jacob's hip, wrenching it out of socket. From that moment on, Jacob walks with a limp. It's a reminder of the encounter, a physical mark of his spiritual transformation. The limp is a symbol of surrender, a sign that Jacob's strength now comes from God, not from himself. It's a powerful image, isn't it? Sometimes our greatest blessings come with scars. Now let's zoom out for a moment. This story isn't just about Jacob, it's about us. How many of us have wrestled with God? How many of us have faced moments of desperation where we've cried out, "I won't let go until you bless me"? The beauty of this story is that it shows us God's willingness to meet us in our struggles. He doesn't shy away from our messiness, our doubts, our questions. He enters into the fight with us, not to destroy us, but to transform us. And here's something you might not know. This isn't the only time wrestling with God appears in the Bible. In Hosea chapter 12, verses 3 to 4, the prophet reflects on this very moment, saying, "In the womb, he grasped his brother's heel. As a man, he struggled with God. He struggled with the angel and overcame him. He wept and begged for his favor." It's a reminder that Jacob's story is part of a larger narrative, one that points to God's relentless pursuit of his people. So what can we take away from this incredible story? First, God meets us in our struggles. He doesn't wait for us to have it all together. He comes to us in our brokenness, in our desperation, in our midnight moments. Second, our struggles have purpose. They're not random or meaningless. They're opportunities for transformation, for encountering God in a deeper way. And finally, true strength comes from surrender. Jacob walked away with a limp, but he also walked away with a blessing. Sometimes our greatest victories come when we stop relying on our own strength and start clinging to God. As we close, let me leave you with this thought. What are you wrestling with today? Is it a relationship, a decision, a fear, a dream? Whatever it is, don't be afraid to bring it to God. Don't be afraid to wrestle, because in the struggle, you just might find a blessing. You just might find a new name. You just might find Him. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of the Bible's most mysterious and transformative stories. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Dynamis Faith Media for more deep dives into the Word of God. Until next time, keep wrestling, keep seeking, and keep holding on. Blessings.